Strictly fans? You already know me as DJ Treese, and I am here with Jude. We got a great show for you today. The LA Sparks are heading up in Crypto.com Arena with the defending champs, the Las Vegas Aces. We got so much more. Keep it locked here on Infanity TV.
We're here with Sparks forward Stephanie Talbot. Now, let me ask you a quick question. You're going back to Olympics for the second time. How does that feel just to be able to wear Australia across your chest and represent the country?
Yeah, I mean, our team hasn't officially been announced yet. I think someday our team gets picked, so hopefully my name will be on that list. And yeah, it's really special to represent the green and gold. It's a massive privilege for us. The Opals have a huge legacy, and trying to carry that with us is huge.
And, you know, you guys are on a tough 8-game losing streak right now, but what has been the message from coach in the locker room about staying composed in these moments?
Yeah, I think for us, we're a young team. It's kind of focusing on us and trying to get better. We have way too many slippages on our defense and moments on our offense where it kind of falls apart. So kind of getting rid of those slippages and playing our game and sticking to our structure a bit more, and I think the wins will take care of themselves.
And you guys beat the Aces earlier this season. What is it going to take to get a second win?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Obviously, they didn't have Chelsea Gray, and Jay Young was out that game, and they're just in generally playing a lot better now, so it's going to be a big game. They're going to be out to get us, but I think, yeah, play the safe, play fast, defend their transition. They like to get out and run and play our game and see what happens.
Thank you so much. That's been Stephanie Talbot for the Sparks.
Welcome back, y'all. It's DJ Treese, and I am here with Jude, who is guest hosting because Michael Matthews is not here. What's going on, Jude?
It's good to be a sub. I'm great to be here. You know, the atmosphere is probably going to be rocking. I know 4th of July was yesterday, but there's going to be fireworks here tonight with the Aces here.
Ooh, I like how you teed that up. I'm hearing that it is a sold-out game here in the lower bowl, so the fan interaction should be amazing. Jude, what are your first thoughts? Now, we beat Vegas here last time.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how we can get the job done tonight?
I think what the Sparks had so much success last time was the three-point shooting. You know, they shot 40%. And honestly, the teams that have been able to compete with the Aces this year, it's been their three-point shooting. I think the three-point shooting, players like Ray Burrell, you know, Ari McDonald, they are going to need to step up from that three-point line to see some success today.
I totally agree with you, and I also want to shine a little bit of light on our defense, right? Defense wins games. Coach talked about it a little bit in the press conference with that slippage last game and a little bit this game. What do you think we need to specifically target in our defense tonight to get the job?
Yeah, I think it's going to be trying to limit Asia Wilson. I think that's the main target. She had a great game against us last time, and she's been dominating on the 6-game win streak that they have had. I think it's going to be that on-ball pressure. We cannot allow open shooters. That was the problem last time, and that's how they got on their runs in the game that we played them last time here in Crypto. They were able to get on runs because of open shooters, and I think we got to be on-ball pressure and be attentive on defense.
We've been having a lot of conversations about the point guard position, and last time we played the Vegas Aces, Chelsea Gray was out. What are your thoughts around the point guard position tonight on the Sparks offensive and defensively as well, limiting Gray?
Yeah, I mean, I've loved what Ari McDonald has brought to this team, especially since she has slotted into that starting position. She's been fantastic. I think her as a facilitator has been perfect for guys, women like De'Erica Hamby, other players like Burrell. I think that's been perfect. Defensively, it's been a little bit of a struggle for the Sparks. It's been not being able to stay in front of their defenders. That's a big problem that they've had so far, and there's been a lot of blow-bys with the defensive side.
It sounds like everybody's worried about the defense tonight, so let's send it over to Coach to talk a little bit before the game about our plans to defeat the Las Vegas Aces here in Crypto.com Arena.
Hello. Hello, Coach. Happy day after 4th.
Happy to that.
Hey, Coach, DJ from Infanity TV. What do you think is going to be your measure of success for tonight going into this game against the defending champs?
Yeah, certainly. You know, we're trying to continue to grow. So part of it is evaluating our growth through slippage, through execution on both sides of the ball. That growth, as we always talk about, wins and losses take care of themselves. We've got to worry about the process and what we're trying to accomplish. And from the scouting report going into the game, you know, how is that? How are we handling execution throughout the game? And looking at the slippage and trying to have less and less slippage on both sides of the ball throughout the game.
Thank you.
Coach, you just got Crystal Dangerfield, a guard, added a 7-day contract. What does she provide that you're looking for in the guard play on the team?
Yeah, excited that Crystal has joined us. Obviously, is navigating her new normal in this league and trying to find the right fit. She's a former Rookie of the Year, a guard that can score at multiple levels, certainly a capable three-point shooter, a very good pull-up jump shooter, someone else that can run offense, and can defend and get up into people. So we're excited about Crystal. The thing with our roster that it now allows to do is to use Lasia Clarendon in a versatile wing and a versatile guard position and give us even more depth that way. Obviously, Lasia had a really, really good year off the point guard position last year. So added ball handling, added defensive pressure. I'm excited that Crystal's here, and never easy with anyone in a 7-day contract. A lot is thrown at them in a very quick period, but just our day and a half with her, she's a pro and just trying to find her new home, and so we're excited about this 7-day contract.
Coach, what type of effort do you want to see just right out the gate, and how do you want the team to respond if, the Aces make a run, and just the fact of talking about just, not only how do you want to see them play in the beginning, but how do you want to see them play at the end of the game as well?
Yeah, certainly, for those that have been around me here in a year and a half, and we talk about back-to-backs, it is not atypical in our league for teams on a back-to-back to start really strong. They're coming right off of a game. They have a little bit more flow already. And you see time and time again teams start well coming off back-to-backs. So we've got to be ready for that cannon effect as I talk about teams coming out. We've got to match that right from the tip. We've got to go right at them in this first quarter and have the energy that is needed. In terms of responding to runs, this league is a league of runs, and our team knows that. Despite our youth, they're experienced that. We won last time out against Vegas, and we were down 14-0, if you want to speak about runs, and 16-2. And we found a way that second half of that first quarter to respond and have our run back at them, and you felt much better about yourself at the end of the first quarter. It's composure, through runs. That's the thing. You've got to step up and make plays defensively to stop runs, but you also can stop runs by executing and having an efficient offensive possession or two, and runs can be, stopped. So there's got to be a composure, and I think that's the big word for our team. As we've seen some teams really turn it up pressure-wise, turn up their focus at us in the fourth quarter, is can we stop these runs quicker, both with offensive execution or a big defensive stop. But composure is a big word that we've been talking about.
Hey Kurt, sorry this is a little off topic, but with Dierica going to Paris next month, is there anything, I guess this month, is there anything that you guys can do to help her with that different style of basketball as you work with her, over these next few weeks?
Yeah, it's hard for the 3-on-3 WNBA players because they're playing 5-on-5 and they're in the midst of this cadence of games. So Sabrina, I don't know how we can help that other than she's playing great basketball, and she's playing very confidently. And so if I called Jen Rosati up and said, is there anything I could do, I would bet she would just tell me, keep her confident. And she's certainly playing that way. She talked about wanting to be an all-star and some lofty goals, individual goals coming into this year, and she's really earned that. She's a top 10 vote getter, for the upcoming All-Star game, and it's just a real credit to her of the way she's played throughout the year.
Coach, back here.
Yep.
What were some of the things that Lee was able to do defensively in the last meeting versus the Aces that was so well?
Yeah, Lee is a very underrated defender in space. It's when we put Lee on Wilson, Becky has, in these first couple games, run immediate plays for her and put her in pin downs and staggers and put her in space. And Lee is better in space than people realize. And so, she's done a really good job all year, not just against Vegas. As people try to isolate her, try to put her on the perimeter and put her in space, she's a much better defender in those situations than people realize. She can be big and long around the rim. Her challenge in a game like this is the discipline around the rim, not the foul, but her physicality, her size can really help us at the rim. And again, we have confidence in space, when she has to switch onto a guard, maybe an emergency and not even a scheme that we were hoping for. But there's going to be moments in the game tonight that we're all going to see that Vegas is going to try to get Wilson in a space against her. And it'll be a great matchup and a great challenge for Lee.
Hey, Coach. To go back to your point about composure, we've talked a lot about frustration and how we want the vets to step up when they get frustrated. How are you helping the vets kind of do that? And then as a coach, how are you dealing with your frustration?
Yeah, my composure is probably worse than the players right now. So, in all seriousness, it starts at the top. I've been through builds everywhere I've been. And my frustration at times isn't as much at times with them. It's frustrating that I can't help them more. I just feel really defeated at times with myself that this is not new to me, building teams and understanding what you go through with teams, but I feel like I haven't always pushed the right buttons for them. And there's a lot of new people in that locker room. There's a lot of new people to the way we're playing. We've scaled it back because we're so young. So I gotta lead with composure, but I'm frustrated with myself that I haven't been able to push more buttons for them that give them more confidence, give them more success. As for the veterans, again, communication is really important, and they got to find that balance where our standards are being upheld, and our veterans in that locker room understand that more, where it's just not good enough. Right. And, challenging ourselves to raise our level, and balancing them out when people need a pat on the back, and everybody's going through this. Everybody goes through this. Everybody has growing issues, and everybody has slippage and makes mistakes. So the veterans in that locker room, are challenged to find that balance where there's times when the coaches need the players, especially the veterans, to huddle them and have a player-only, good talk on our standards have got to be higher. We've got to raise our level right here, but also the encouragement and the grace to allow some of these guys to make mistakes. But composure starts with me. And I haven't always modeled that in this build season. I'm real good, outside of the 2 hours during the game, but I want it so bad for them to feel more success because we're playing with the situation that we have, the hand that we're dealt. The preseason injuries, and then we get into season injuries and illnesses. With the hand that we're dealt, we're playing solid basketball in stretches. It's just not consistent enough, long enough to equate into wins. But I'm encouraged about where this group can go. It's LA shouldn't be patient. The fan base is probably frustrated and impatient, and I completely understand that. But I want them to stick with us, and so many have through thick and thin. There's a process, and you look at some of the teams that around the league that have built through the draft. Vegas had 3 number ones and still needed Chelsea Gray, to really help get them to where they are today. Indiana sits out of the playoffs as we speak. They have a 2 and 2 number ones back to back, joining Kelsey Mitchell. and they're still in a build. So, like anyone that takes a look at our league and watches teams build through the draft, it takes some time. And so, I'm just going to keep plugging with this group. I see a lot of bright spots. Unfortunately, we know we're in a losing streak, and it's not equated into wins this year, but the hand we're dealt, we're going to keep grinding and battling, and that locker room is together. That locker room believes in each other. We have De'Erica, who just re-signed and is very vocal about being a champion to bring other great players to join her and our young group. So bright days are ahead. It's not always easy to navigate through the cloudy days, but bright days are ahead.
Coach, offbeat question. You have the distinct honor of representing America during the Olympics on the women's basketball staff. What does the 4th of July mean to you, and how did you spend your 4th?
Watching film, of course. I literally was watching Vegas when the damn thing didn't freeze last night for anyone that was watching. Watching Vegas without my window, seeing the fireworks in Redondo last night, so I could see that from my place, was in kind of a neat, like, just by myself as I typically am watching film, but had fireworks in the past. It's a humbling honor to represent your country. I had the unique opportunity when I transitioned into the league, was put on that selective, exclusive national team selection committee of 5 people, being surrounded by, Gino, Carol Callan, who is the director of USA Basketball, Katie Smith was representing former players, Bethany Donovan from the league, just an exclusive group, and for 5 years was on that committee where we picked the World Cup team in 2018 that won a gold medal, and then the 2020 Olympic team, which turned into the 2021 Olympic team. And then I transitioned more onto the bench, and since that Olympics in 21, have transitioned with USA Basketball onto the bench and have been onto the bench, but as we know, there's 2 WNBA coaches, 2 collegiate coaches, and during the World Cup gold medal of 2022, and now the upcoming Paris Olympics, I'm the lead scout for the USA team. It's just a humbling honor to be around. It's a humbling honor to serve with Cheryl Reeve and how much collaborative she is with her assistant coaches and staff. There's nothing better than being around other bright minds. So I get to be around Mike Tebow and Tanisha Wright and myself, and then up and coming superstars at the collegiate level, and Kara Lawson and Joni Taylor. Just really humbling. It feels like good old when you started in this game, you went to camp to be around other coaches, and so to me, every time I'm with USA Basketball, it just feels like a summer camp because you're around bright minds, and we get to talk the game, and we get to laugh, and we joke and have adult beverages and all that. So I can't wait. Like the World Cup got me out of the depression of the 2022 finals loss. It was my 2nd time in the finals, 4th time in the semifinals or finals in a row, and couldn't get to the finish line. In less than 48 hours, I'm flying to Australia to represent your country. It shakes you back into reality of how blessed you are. I am going to be going to the Olympics, and just really, really honored to represent our country. Thank you.
All right, y'all, we just heard from Coach in the press conference, and we are back here. Jude, based on what the coach just said, who is your prediction, or what are your predictions here on who's going to be the player of the game?
I think it's going to be Ari McDonald. I'm holding strong with her. I think she's going to be vital to having any success today. We saw it. She had a great game. She had 16 points last time they played the Aces. Her impact of what she does beyond just scoring is going to be vital, and I think that's why she'll be player of the game. How about you? I'm
going with Rickea Jackson. She had a little bit of a rough game. She had a couple rookie mistakes, and with her winning attitude, I think she's really going to step it up here. I'm thinking Rickea's going to score about 14 points and maybe get 5 to 10 rebounds. That's just me.
I want to see the Rook show up.
Yeah.
And I'll toss one more nugget. The Sparks have not beaten the Aces in back-to-back games since 2019.
That is nuts. So hopefully we can get the job done here to get 2 wins against the Aces back-to-back. Y'all keep it locked, and we will be back after the game to discuss everything that's happened. But go Sparks!
Go Sparks.
What's going on, LA Sparks Weekly fans? It's DJ Treacy Trees, and I am here with Yueru from the LA Sparks. Lee, welcome to the show. I have a couple quick questions for you. The last time that we played Vegas, you did really, really well. What's your strategy tonight against Vegas?
We have a really great last game, so I hope this game we still can play very well, and that we try to figure out last game with some things, and we hope that today we can give the Airy fans and ourselves a really great game.
Awesome, thank you. A question, you and Airy seem to be really good friends. I see you a lot in the press conference. Can you talk about your relationship with Airy McDonald and how she's helped you to play with the Sparks?
Airy, she's helped me a lot, whatever in the core or in the life. She really talk a lot with me about you need to post up some move, and you should help me show me some difference with you, something like that. And I think she's really friendly for me, and she's a really good friend for me, and I'm really appreciate her.
Awesome. Last question. The Olympics is coming up. Can you talk about what it's like to represent your country playing basketball?
Yeah, I will back with our national team meet in China first, and we will go to Paris together. Yeah, of course, I hope our national team can play the good basketball in Paris, and I still want to whatever our teammates like Kia, like Steph, we will meet in Olympic Games. So I hope we can play very well both. And we hope have a great game for everyone. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Lee. Have a great game.
Thank you.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. You're more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
What's going on, LA Sparks Weekly? It's DJ Treacy Trees, but you already know me. I'm back here with Jude, and the Sparks are back in the win column as we just defeated the Aces 98-93. Jude, we waited for the miracle. We kind of called this.
But doesn't it feel great? It happened here in Crypto.com. The first time since 2019 the Sparks have won back-to-back games versus the Aces. It's a great day to be a Sparks fan.
It is a great day to be a Sparks fan. What are some things that originally stuck out? And for those of you viewers who didn't get a chance to watch the game, this game actually went into overtime.
Yeah.
So we had 45 minutes of great basketball that the Sparks played. What was that defining moment that turned this into a win, in your opinion?
Well, there's plenty of defining moments. I think the first one that sticks out is limiting the turnovers. I mean, that's just what allowed the offense to flow so well. Coach Miller talked about it in postgame, just the ability to get more shots. They shot 19 more shots than the Aces, and that was very important. So the 3 turnovers they had allowed for a lot more free-flowing offense. How about you?
For me, it was multiple players in double digits. We always talk about how offensively it's tough when you only got 1 or 2 players who've scored double. We had a lot of great rebounds as well. We had that lockdown defense.
Yep.
It seemed like Vegas couldn't really get their runs going like they normally would do. What were your thoughts on how we played against Asia Wilson?
Well, I mean, she still was Asia Wilson at the end of the day, and that's tough. But I thought overall the other players around her, we did a really great job at shutting down. They were a lot more proactive than reactive as a defense with fast hands, active hands. They fought for everything. The intensity was there defensively, and that's what they needed. Look, Asia Wilson's going to be Asia Wilson. That's going to be a tough monster to stop, but Kelsey Plum didn't really have her best game. Jackie Young, the other players didn't step up, and that was big for the Sparks.
I totally agree with you. And one major thing that we could tell just right in the stat sheet is that Jackie Young did not get hot until overtime. She only had 3 points leading up into that hot fourth quarter and overtime. But y'all, LA Sparks Weekly fans, stay put. We're going to send you right to the press conference where we got to talk to Coach Miller, we got to talk to Ari McDonald, and we also got to talk to Rakia Jackson. Stay tuned.
Really, just proud of them to keep putting themselves back in that position in the fourth quarter. Another fourth quarter lead disappeared, but this is what we're talking about with a young team. You just got to keep putting them back in that situation. Tonight they responded with some, real grittiness and toughness and found some stops and enough offensive plays to get that game into overtime. And then I just thought we played with intent tonight, and especially in the overtime, did some really nice things to find a way to the finish line. Our Achilles, people that have followed us know our Achilles heel this year is turnovers. We keep addressing it, and we found some flow tonight and, played a 45-minute game with 3 turnovers, 1 at halftime. So, just really proud of them that way. We called some plays that are lower turnover plays that, not always got us into scoring positions, but it kept us out of turnovers. And, again, Ari McDonald was just, went, continuing north-south and attacking, and just really led us throughout the night. But that starting group, did a lot of really good things. And last shout-out I'll give is, I thought Ray's length at the 2-guard position with Kia Nurse in foul trouble early. She really, while she didn't shoot the ball as well as she's capable of, her length and her activity really helped us tonight. So super proud. Gritty, tough win. Got that losing streak ended. That certainly, our locker room feels really good about that.
We're going to start with questions for the players. John.
My question's for
John first, and then Edward. Sorry.
So it took 45 minutes, 45 minutes to get this one done. And throughout it, you know, the ups and downs and everything like that. Ari, Rakia, what do you feel like was the thing that you take away from a game like this that it took to win it?
I think that we stayed together. You know, Vegas had their runs, and we expected that. But the difference from tonight and Tuesday, we stayed together. We communicated, and I think that we minimized their stops, but we were also executing and scoring.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Our turnovers, we had 3, and that just says a lot about us when we're moving the ball, playing together, and just playing aggressive on both ends of the floor. Good things happen.
questions for McDonald. You had a career high tonight. A lot of it one-on-ones there with Plum, and you kind of took advantage there. What did you see in that matchup that made you feel like that was the best option on the floor?
Kelsey's a great player. Played with her my freshman year at UW, but I mean, Kelsey's an offensive player. She doesn't want to play on the defensive end, and she picks and chooses. But I mean, I knew that coming to the game, so I had to take advantage of that. Even if I wasn't scoring, it was getting my teammates open looks.
Hey, this is DJ from Infanity TV. This question is for Rakia. Rakia, tonight you had a really timely rebound. Can you talk about your aggressiveness on the glass and your strategy tonight?
Yeah, playing against Asia and Kia, I know they're super tall, so I had to pick and choose rebounds. Like, if it's, like, up in air, I know Asia probably was going to get that. That last rebound, I was just, praying it came to me, and it did. I saw Kia go to the left, so I went to the right. And then it rolled off my body, and I said, whatever you got to do, just grab this so you don't get cussed out. So, yeah, that's how it happens.
Jackie with Jackie Ray TV. Ari, this one is for you. We talked before the game, and you said for the last 7 to 10 games you've been really vocal. When you picked up that fourth foul, I saw you be even more vocal, and your intensity did not stop. Can you tell me what you were thinking at that moment?
I was just thinking, next play, whatever you do, do not foul out. I know you have 6 of them, but don't use them. But, I mean, I just have to continue being aggressive. I'm an aggressive defender, so, I mean, whatever I have to do to get that stop, I was going to do it.
Hey, Rakia, we talked earlier that you said that you knew what it takes to beat the Aces. So what did it take for all of you to beat the Aces?
Just, again, staying together, low turnovers, executing, knocking out open shots. I just feel like we played with a lot of grit tonight.
Thanks. This is for both of you guys. Coach Miller is really stressed in practice. Or yesterday, he talked a lot about your guys' need to stay composed and not stagnant in those final minutes. And in that final 6 minutes in overtime, how important was it kind of keeping that mindset of not, okay, look, we blew the lead here, but we can still win this game?
Just like Coach said, running sets that didn't cause us to turn the ball over and just keep moving them. Trying to get the matchups we wanted, but also just to, just get them moving and just to execute and just score.
Yeah.
This question is for Kia. Like you had just mentioned, like just cussed out. Can you talk about the interaction with you and Kurt? I believe it was in the second quarter, the teaching moment that you guys had, and then it led to a timeout.
Yeah, he just pushes me, and that's something that I need. I'm a player that when I'm pushed, I play better, and I feel like he knows that. He wants what's best for me on both ends of the floor. So him just challenging me, I can't remember the exact.
Oh, I do.
Wait, what was it?
So Rakia, to her credit, right, is really versatile, but we played her predominantly at the 3, and at the last second, we needed some minutes with her at the 4. And we ran a play, and Rakia looked at us and was like, where am I supposed to be? Because she hasn't been a 4 for a month. So that's the interchange. But you were a 4. I reminded her that she was a 4.
Exactly.
And she should remember, she,
I had a brain fart.
She barely said, I haven't been there, coach, in a month. And so.
And he couldn't say nothing after
that. Yeah, that was a good answer.
For either of you guys, it seemed like whenever you guys really needed a big play, obviously De'Arca's there, but Steph Talbot made a lot of big plays down the stretch. What did you make of her passing and really everything she was doing down the stretch of this game?
Steph is so underrated. She's been playing her butt off since entering the starting lineup. She's been the glue that we needed, keeping us together, staying composed, and just doing the little things that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. But she had some really big assists tonight, and I'm just proud of her.
Rikia, since moving back to the guard spot, playing a lot more with Ari, what's it like to play with a point guard that is so fast and has such high energy all the time?
Yeah, it's fun. Like, when that's the head of the snake, like, it's just fun to play with. She keeps our energy high and keep us calm at the same time. And every time she got the ball, I'm confident she's always going to make the right play. Whether it's going to get a bucket, whether it's kicking it out, she's always making the right play. And she's always taking accountability as well. And I feel like that's important as a point guard. So, you know, just playing with her is amazing. And then she's a dog on the defensive end, so I know she always going to sit on somebody. So, yeah.
Appreciate that.
This is for either Rikia or Ari. Regardless of the opponent, regardless of the score, you all play with tremendous grit. Where does that come from in terms of the team?
I think that just comes from within. I mean, we beat each other up at practice, honestly. So, I mean, for us to finally go out there and translate it and beat up somebody else, I mean, I love to see it. But, I mean, this is a really gritty win. And we're all dogs on this team. We wanted to win. And I think at one point in time, we didn't even know what the score was winning at halftime. We just know that we were playing great, and we had one turnover. So, I mean, however long it took, whatever we need to do, we got it done. And so the rest took care of itself.
Last question for the players. We have PJ Brown on Zoom. PJ?
Okay. Hi, Ari.
Hi.
You've been on a big roll these last, 8-10 games, something like that. In all aspects, your scoring, your role as a point guard, as well as your defense. What do you think it is that all of a sudden things sort of started clicking for you and you feel, I guess, more comfortable in this offense?
Just taking advantage of the opportunity that I'm getting. And just also playing with a coach and playing with teammates that believe in you and trust that you're going to make the right play. But, I mean, that's all I needed was somebody to believe in me. And, you know, when that happened, my confidence, it was boosted.
Thanks, Ari and Rikia. We'll now take questions for Kurt.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Go study that playbook at the fort.
John,
All right. So, Coach, again, congratulations on the win. Your 4th and 5th wins of this season, both against the Aces. I don't think either one of us had that on the bingo card. But, you know, what do you want to take from this and immediately put it into Sunday's game? Because we both know this league doesn't stop.
Yeah, games don't stop. You know, I gave him an extra hour of sleep tonight, but you know, it's back to work tomorrow for a game with no shoot around against Phoenix. So, you know, just you know, this league is interesting. There's just matchups of some teams that you match up better than others, and there's a confidence in our locker room. They are an incredible championship team with 4 Olympians and 5 now with Tiffany Hayes going to the 3-on-3, you know, and maybe more, you know. So it's just there's a confidence that they can play with them because we've had some success. We played well there in the first game. So, you know, there's just weird matchups in this league that there's some teams that you just find some flow and rhythm. And right now there's a confidence in that locker room that they can match up with Vegas as talented and as much respect as we have for them. And Becky is, you know, an elite coach who, you know, obviously our history goes all the way back to her senior year in college. But really proud of them. You know, again, it was a really gritty win. Important that we step back up and put ourselves back in that fourth quarter opportunity.
Yeah. Hey, Coach. Dahani Joseph, Yahoo Sports. When you hear your players talk about they didn't know the score all at halftime, all they know that they were up and they were winning, especially in such a dogfight like this, also considering the fact that last game you guys had a big lead and then you blew it. What does that tell you about their confidence, not only in themselves, but also just the fact that they can beat anyone on any given night?
Yeah, just, you know, we've talked a lot about standards recently. We've talked a lot about, you know, what we want to hold ourselves accountable for. And we just have an opportunity to continue to get better and better, and there's just been too much slippage. And tonight our slippage was down, our turnovers were down. The box score looks flipped compared to what most nights look like. We took 19 more shots than them. That's what every box score has looked like against us because we've been turning it over too much. And it's constantly we're taking 8, 10, 12 less shots than people. It's hard to overcome that. We were able to overcome an average shooting night inside the arc tonight because we had so many more possessions than them. So just super proud. Big win. They're going to feel good about themselves going into these last few games before the Olympic break.
Hey, Coach, DJ from Infanity TV. I'm curious to know that in the fourth quarter and going into overtime, Vegas was in foul trouble. How important was it in your scheming with just putting more pressure on their team in regards to fouls?
Yeah, tonight, a lot of our decision was we were going to put the ball in Aries' hands and trying to get her to play north-south and make plays off of that. We, recognized that Asia had 5 fouls. But we weren't going to dwell on it and try to overwork that matchup for the sake of taking bad shots or getting out of our rhythm. So we were all aware that Asia had 5. Could we put Asia in action? Could we put her in a compromised position? But, we were going to do what we were doing and try to get the ball to people that we wanted and thought we had an advantage with. And they made big plays within plays. We shared the ball tonight. Steph Talbot stepped up big with a big shot to send it to overtime. And that was a play within the play and just making a read and taking what they gave us. And at times we force things and don't always take what they give us. So we did that better tonight. We really handled the basketball. Just a really overall big win. I mean, it doesn't get talked about, but Steph Talbot is a really good passer. And you see tonight with 9 assists from the forward position is a big night.
Hey, Coach, you talked a lot about composure heading into this game. How would you assess the composure of the team overall? And then also, how do you think that kind of showed up on the play when Talbot had the lob into De'Erica for the and one on the seal in the overtime?
Yeah, I thought Leja came in, when Ray couldn't continue and, gave us some really veteran important minutes there. I thought, again, as they made their run in the fourth quarter and in times those were the games that would slip away, they were better tonight. We were much more composed in the huddles. I talked about it in pregame. I was much more composed in huddles. I got a technical with 2 minutes to go in a close game, but I did have better composure with them in timeouts and, directing. And that starts from the top. When they saw myself more composed in timeouts, naturally they're more composed. So, really proud of them.
Last couple of questions, Edwin first and then Eric.
Coach, you mentioned the familiarity here with these players and even the personnel, with Becky, and obviously Gray used to be a spark, and Hamby even mentioned it on the court that, this matchup means a lot to her. Knowing besides the factor that, it's a test for your team facing the defending champs, how does those personal relationships kind of give a game an extra edge, especially late in the fourth quarter and overtime?
Yeah, I think, obviously that game is very special to De'Erica. It always will be. You get an incredible effort from De'Erica Hamby every night. But, this is an extra special matchup for a variety of reasons for her. It's, very special. There's everybody's so close throughout the league. There's connections beyond what you guys can even imagine. And, I'm in 2 weeks, I'm going to be coaching 4 of those players and, helping them any way we can to try to acquire our 8th gold medal in a row. So it's just, this league is really, really neat that way, that there's special relationships. I love competing against Becky. She, has brought, some of the NBA philosophical approach, and we've all adapted and continue to steal things from the NBA and international men's play. And, there's just coaches that you really get up for that just truly make you better. And Becky makes me better and makes me really try to scheme. And, the chess match within the chess match when you go in and out of timeouts is really fun.
Yeah, Coach, can you elaborate more on the chess match? That's what I was about to bring up, because in the fourth quarter and at the end of the game, we can physically see the chess match between you and Becky in this game?
Yeah, it's counter after counter, and but players are executing. No matter what Becky or I draw up on a board, it's great players executing. We made some big plays tonight. They made some big plays. Jackie Young, throw it in that 3 to get it back to a 2-point game. We knew that play was in their playbook. We've discussed it. We had a flyby closeout. We didn't foul when she jumped forward, and it goes in. We knew how much they loved to back screen Asia Wilson on timeouts. They still out executed, even though those kind of things. And we were the same way. We were able to execute some things tonight and take advantage of the way they were guarding us. So it's just it's really fun, and in some games it's more obvious to media than others, but it happens every night. And at this point in my career, it's what I live for. I love that, and there's nights where I go home and really frustrated with what I did, and there's nights where I remind myself that I'm okay.
Thanks, Kurt. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, Sparks fans, we are back. As you can hear, Coach Miller had a lot of praises to sing for his team.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the press conference?
Yeah, I thought they all took a sigh of relief. That was the biggest thing. There was a lot more enthusiasm in the room. I think credit to him, what he was talking about is the composure this team showed in those end games, the last 6 minutes. I know everyone in the media area was like, 6 minutes left, what are they going to do? Are they going to choke this? And they almost did. They almost did, but they showed that they're fighting that composure, and I thought all those players showed it today.
Absolutely, and when you're playing a team like Vegas that are back-to-back champions, they're going to bring that heat for you every single night, and the word of the press conference was grit. Everybody played with so much grit and got to the bottom of their game and put their best foot forward tonight. So, Jude, you know what time it is. We called our predictions for player of the game. Who is your player of the game today?
I'm going to have to stick with who I said pregame. Ari McDonald, career-high 23 points. She didn't have that facilitating game that, we're used to seeing in these past 7-8 games with her, but she was a lethal threat with the scoring ability. Kelsey Plum at times looked boss.
Yeah, absolutely. I was surprised she shook her like that, too. I'm changing my player. My player of the game had to be our MVP, De'Erica Hamby. Come on, 14 rebounds. That is MVP behavior. She has been giving it to him all season. And when she goes and plays against the Aces, it's always a special time. So big shouts out to De'Erica Hamby for doing her thing tonight. Jude, thanks so much for filling in on the show.
Of course, I'm glad we could get a win. I'm on the show, we got to win.
Luck charm. So, LA Sparks Weekly fans, make sure you like, share, subscribe for more content like this. The Sparks are back on Sunday here in the Crypto.com arena. Y'all keep it locked right here on Infanity TV.